What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including CM Punk created a big problem for Daniel Bryan's debut, how Baron Corbin lost his millions, Jeff Hardy has COVID, Cody Rhodes reveals what he thinks of Triple H, Braun Strowman's new career, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's do the intro and get straight into the first story. Now, first story looks at CM Punk signing for AEW created a big problem for Daniel Bryan. Now, top story today relates to how CM Punk signing for AEW has drastically altered AEW's initial plans for Daniel Bryan's debut. It's definitely been a crazy week in the world of pro wrestling, as it's been revealed that both CM Punk and Daniel Bryan look to be AEW bound. In relation to Bryan, it looks like he would re-sign with the WWE but take on a part-time schedule. However, it looks like that's not going to happen. In terms of Punk, fans were shocked when it was revealed that Punk had signed with AEW, as Punk is one of the biggest names in the modern era, and fans believe that Punk was all but done with pro wrestling. According to reports, AEW secured Bryan joining the company first, and they had concrete creative plans for his debut. However, when AEW was also able to sign Punk, this threw a wrench in these creative plans and made AEW go back to the drawing board. According to Cassidy Haynes from the Body Slam podcast, work is now being done internally in AEW to capitalize on both debuts to create as much buzz as possible. Haynes also noted that Punk and Bryan signing with the company was an extremely recent development and has only made progress over the past 3 weeks. Haynes added, they already had plans for Bryan Danielson to debut at Arthur on September 22nd, however that was a couple of weeks ago. Meltzer saying he's known since May. Nah, they had discussed that internally in May when his contract ran up, but they didn't start talks until about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So that stuff didn't happen until recently. Then the Punk stuff happened after Bryan. So they had plans in place for Bryan at Arthur Ashe, and then this Punk stuff happened, and that's kind of thrown a wrench into how they want to present everything. Now they got to reformat everything because of that, because it's how do you capitalize off this buzz, and what are they going to do exactly is what they're trying to figure out. Now, if AEW was smart, they should have Daniel Bryan debut on the Dynamite when they're in Chicago and then leave CM Punk at All Out. It would make for an absolutely huge moment. Better yet, have them debut at the same time at All Out. Have them both come in the ring. It would be massive. How do you think they should book their debuts? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Jeff Hardy tests positive for COVID. Now, the charismatic enigma is still reeling from a huge win over Karrion Kross, ruining his unbeaten streak. Now, the WWE superstar was set to appear at a meet and greet at Record Bar in Kansas City tomorrow night, but unfortunately that's no longer happening as Jeff Hardy has tested positive for COVID. The Record Bar announced that Jeff Hardy has tested positive for COVID this morning and will have to quarantine for the next 2 weeks and will not be participating in any live events for the next 2 weeks. We wish Jeff Hardy a fast recovery. Next up, how Baron Corbin went broke. Now, Baron Corbin has undergone a drastic character shift over the past month or so. Since losing the King of the Ring crown to Shinsuke Nakamura, Corbin's life and WWE career has taken a nosedive. Corbin has fallen on hard times financially, and his appearance has also altered to reflect the damage that the loss has taken on the former US champion. Thanks to Corbin's recent appearance on Talking Smack, we now know why Corbin has suddenly lost his fortune. He revealed, if I really had to explain to you, I will. Look, when I was the king, my paycheck was like $20,000 a week. Every single week that's what I got. So you start getting these monster paychecks and you're like, oh, okay, now I can get $1 million house. Now I can get the truck I want. Now I can get the car I want. Then you get the jewelry and you start buying these things because the 20 grand is coming in every single week and you're living large. Now at the end of the month you have $60,000 in bills, you have taxes, you have to try to put a little bit of investments. The former King of the Ring went on to reveal that he bought into Bitcoin and stated, I bought into Bitcoin when it was $62,000 a share and now it's at 30 and I borrowed some money to buy that. So all of a sudden all these bills catch up. Then I lose the crown, with the crown came that money. Now I can't even say with pride what my weekly check is. It doesn't even cover the payment of one of my vehicles. Now they've taken 3 or 4. My wife is disappointed isn't the word. It's embarrassing. I have to go home to this and I just don't have the income coming in or the luck to even try and turn it around. When you fall hard, it's fast. Now, even though WWE fans are used to seeing Corbin as one of the top heels in the company, there are rumors circulating that he could be in line for a babyface push, as he's getting quite a substantial bit of sympathy from the angle that is taking place on SmackDown. We think it's quite a cool idea that he lost all his money on Bitcoin. After all, I lost a bit. Next up, CM Punk follows AEW on Twitter. But with CM Punk signing for AEW being one of the biggest news stories in quite some time, fans are now eagerly anticipating any future developments and news in relation to Punk's impending debut. It looks like Punk may be bringing back his trademark cult of personality theme song for his run in AEW, as fans discovered yesterday that Living Colour followed AEW on Twitter. But this is before they quickly unfollowed them once fans noticed this development. This also led to fans believing that Living Colour had recent contact with the promotion, and this more than likely would have been in relation to using the theme song. Additionally, Punk is also following the official account on Twitter yesterday, so it looks like Punk is officially on his way to Tony Khan's promotion. Then again, he's also following WWE and 205 Live. Are we expecting Punk on 205 Live? Maybe not. Still, it's interesting that he's recently following them. Next up, Braun Strowman's new career. Now, currently there are rumors circulating that WWE wants the Monster Among back, but Strowman could be eyeing up a new career. The former Universal Champion was spotted at a bare-knuckle boxing event, to which they then tweeted, "Next BKFC signing?" After taking a legit punch in the head from Lesnar at the Royal Rumble, he could do quite well. Next up, Malakai Black on the difference between WWE and AEW. Now, Aleister Black's release from the WWE in June of 2021 was certainly one of the most shocking releases in recent memory. Black had just recently re-debuted on the SmackDown brand in the main event, and he looked to be set for a feud with Big E. Now, not a lot is known about why the WWE decided to release him, but fans knew that any company would be lucky to have the popular star. AEW would end up being Black's new home, and he would go under the name of Malakai Black, and set his sights on Cody Rhodes for a huge feud to start off his AEW career. Now, although Black has only been seen in the company for a number of weeks, he started sharing details in relation to what he feels are the major differences between WWE and AEW. Whilst appearing on the Wrestling Perspective podcast, Black revealed there is a lack of pressure whilst working for AEW, whilst WWE is a high-pressure environment. Black revealed, "From what I see, it's the open line of communications with Tony that keeps everyone sane. Tony's open for everything, wants to talk to everyone, has ideas for everyone, and gives you everyone a platform to express and create. If you struggle, Tony is there to help you. And other people are there to help you too. We've got people like Frankie Kazarian, Christopher Daniels, we've got Billy Gunn, Jerry Lynn, freaking Jerry Lynn. We got Dean Malenko. So there is this wealth of knowledge that is there to help you. It's not like where a lot of times with the WWE, I felt we've got to come up with something. Come on guys, we've got to come up with something. It's got to happen right now. This is what they want. Let's go." To be honest, we think many wrestlers feel that there's less pressure in AEW, and that Tony Khan is more accessible than Vince McMahon. And finally, Cody Rhodes reveals what he really thinks of Triple H. Our fans have been wondering ever since AEW was formed what Cody Rhodes truly thinks of Triple H. Cody notably smashed a throne with a sledgehammer during his entrance at Double or Nothing in 2019, and this was seen as a direct shot to Triple H. However, according to Cody, it was simply about making a statement, although he admits he made a number of mistakes since becoming an AEW executive. Cody revealed during an interview with Inside the Ropes that, "I think I wanted to make a statement on what we were doing, and I think what we did was clearly the biggest statement we can make. Afterwards, I really got long-winded. Sometimes I say the wrong thing, and in this executive role, I put my foot in my mouth so many times. Whereas when I was talent, I could get away with it. Talents can lie. Talents can exaggerate. When you're any type of management, you're held accountable, which is a lesson for me to learn." Cody would surprisingly go on to call Triple H's favourite wrestler during the same interview, and even added that Triple H reminds him of his dad, the legendary Dusty Rhodes. He stated, "So I don't know if I should share this, but at some point it's going to come off my chest. Triple H is probably my favourite wrestler and was a role model. I only watched him from a distance, but he reminded me a lot of my dad in the sense that I watched him do all the work, be this executive and then go out there, and he was only part-time for most part, other than when I first started that he had a run with him and Teddy and Sean. He really was a model in terms of, okay, you can do both, but you have to be really disciplined. You have to take it really seriously, and that doesn't get you many friends when you're the Hermione Granger of the company, and you just take it so serious and you're just a little bookworm." Cody even mentioned during the interview that Triple H called him following the birth of Cody's daughter, so it appears that the two are on good terms, which is good to see. But there you have it folks, the wildest news stories and rumours you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.